England's Ollie Beerman in car 87 has a 97-point lead over the rest of the field and can almost put the title out of reach this weekend. 31 other drivers on the grid will be trying to ensure that does not happen. Welcome to today's program featuring round 5 of the Italian F4 Championship, coming to you from the fabulous Red Bull Ring here in Austria. Travelling north of the border into the Austrian mountains is always popular with teams and drivers in the Italian F4 Championship. Arguably the most picturesque circuit in the world, the fabulous Red Bull Ring is one of 2 international rounds raced by the world's most competitive junior motor racing series and one of 5 current Grand Prix circuits on the series calendar. Indeed, it was only a few weeks earlier that Max took 2 wins at the Austrian track, which had hosted Formula 1 4 times in the previous 12 months. Ollie Beerman could almost put the 2021 series out of reach this weekend, and this was the last opportunity for his rivals to stop the Van Amersfoort racing driver from running away with the championship. Qualifying was hot from the outset, not literally, as it was another very cool morning at the Austrian circuit, which is almost 700 metres above sea level. But it was hot on track. From Poland, Piotr Wisnicki was the first to set a time for Gensa Motorsport, the team which won the 2016 title with Marcus Siebert. Then came Francesco Simonazzi and another Eastern European driver, in Hungary's Levente de Ves. Andrea Antonelli in his first ever car race not off to the best start when his initial time was deleted for track limits. But the Mercedes Junior would recover impressively. Beerman went back to P1 to psychologically demoralise his opposition before Wisnicki went back to the top again. Piotr in fine form from the outset of practice at the Red Bull Ring. Sebastian Montoya, who has had a mixed 2021 despite showing great speed throughout, then recorded a 1:31.09 to take pole for race 1, ahead of championship leader Beerman. Then came Tim Tramnitz and Nikita Bedrin. Antonelli in his first ever car race qualifying session, an impressive P10 in the 32 car field. The Italian Simonazzi, who had made his Formula 3 debut the week prior at Imola, was first to set a quick time in Q2. The BVM racing driver going P1 from Montoya and Pietro Armani. Tim Tramnitz, who took 2 great wins at Paul Ricard in the championship opener, took his US racing car to the top from Fornaroli and Montoya and looked set to take pole until Fornaroli took his Iron Lynx car 72 to pole with his final flying lap. A 1:30.605 to line up on grid 1 for race 2. Ahead of the German Tramnitz, the Austrian Josh Dufek at his home race in impressive 3rd from Montoya, Bedrin and the series leader Beerman. Tramnitz would finally claim at least 1 pole position though, his 2nd quickest qualifying time overall, ensuring he would start race 3 from P1.
The car felt really good this morning. And I'm very happy to have this pole position for race 3 now. Very close for race 2, but yeah, that's racing. I'll have to get to the front in race 2 now.
The third and final round of this season's WSK Euro Series was held at the Sarno circuit, a stone's throw from the ancient city of Naples and literally in the shadow of its still active volcano, Vesuvius. The weekend was hot, both on and off track, the extreme temperatures and hot, humid southern Italian air testing the 227 drivers from 52 nations as they all raced around the 1.5 kilometre circuit. Once again, the show on track was spectacular, with a prestigious WSK round victory as well as the overall series championships up for grabs. 60 Mini. The challenge for the championship saw the first sensation in the pre-final with the elimination of Olivieri, after the Adria race winner who led the series coming into the final clashed with the pack, then rolled to a stop. His championship over. This put Christian Costoya and his Paralin team in the box seat heading into the final. The Spaniard driving an intelligent race to take second place, and with it the WSK Euro Series for 2021. The race win went to the Russian Drago course racer Vladimir Ivanenkov, who dominated the entire race. After finishing third a fortnight prior in Adria, the win also saw him take second in the championship. Third place in the final for Jacopo Martinez, who also took out pre-final B earlier in the day. For Olivieri, some consolation with third place in the championship. It was a fabulous weekend for the Jamaican Alex Powell in OK Jr. The Kart Republic driver won the final and in fact only missed out on the championship by a mere 3 points. At the end of the 20-kilometre final, Ukrainian Alexander Bondarev took a brilliant second place behind Alex, with third for the Californian kid Kai Sorensen. Josh Irfan, who was quick all weekend, was unlucky to be involved in an accident off the start, which was red flagged. But Josh was able to resume for the restart, but retired after only 3 laps. And so the championship was won by England's Harley Keeble. Despite crossing the line 4th, a penalty applied dropped him to 8th. He only just took the championship from the aforementioned Powell, but was a very deserving 2021 champion, taking the title back to the Tony Kart Racing Team. Arvid Lindblad arrived in Sarno with an almost insurmountable lead in OK. The Italian Andrea Antonelli and the Bulgarian Nikola Tsolov, also both driving Kart Republics, tried as they might, winning their respective pre-finals. But Lindblad seemed just fine with that. The Red Bull Junior had the situation under control, guided by his Kart Republic team from pit lane as he looked for every last kilometre per hour down the straight. The final on a warm Italian summer afternoon initially saw Tsolov and Tappinen shoot well ahead of Lindblad. Further back, Antonelli and Kuhacic lost contact with the series leader as Lindblad calmly took the lead 12 laps from the end. Tsolov crossed the line second and Joseph Turney, another classy and intelligent drive to take the final step of the podium by just 0.06 of a second. Lindblad, the champion from McLaren Jr. Ugo Ukachukwu, and Poland's Timek Kuhacic in third. Pedro Hilbrand may have started the season green, but the Spanish driver has found a home at the Lennox Racing Team, and he dominated the final round of KZ2 at Sarno. Giuseppe Palomba on his home circuit finished in second, and Emilian Danner, who had qualified fastest in his 53 Intrepid kart, finished third. It was a remarkable situation in KZ. In the championship standings, Moraine Kramers was the series leader coming into the final by some 80 points, but would watch from pit lane injured. If he was going to take the title, he would do so without turning a single lap at Sarno. His Birilat teammate Riccardo Longhi, second in the series and the defending champion, drove home in 4th place to go 2 years in a row. The WSK Euro Series champion 2020 and now 2021 as well. Kramers second in the series and Palomba third. Again, Birilat 1, 2, 3 in the championship. Another series raced with new names as champions. WSK wishes you a great summer. We'll be back after the break for the WSK Open Cup and the Final Cup starting in September. We'll see you then.
Perfect start from Montoya from pole position. Ollie Bierman and Tim Trumnitz go side by side into the louder curve one. Bierman holds off Trumnitz as 32 Junior Open wheelers race up the hill for the first time. A relatively clean curve one. In fact, that was Jonas Reed, so a disastrous start for the German. After not the best run in qualifying as Ollie Bierman locks the brake, going up. Bierman side by side down into the Roush curve. The championship leader on the inside. Ollie Bierman from the outside of the front row of the grid drives by Montoya, drives by Trumnitz, and the championship leader for Van Amersfoort Racing goes position one. Montoya will be absolutely livid with himself as Kirill Small on the inside of his countrymen, the two ruthless racing Russians, Nikita Bedrin and Karusha, go side by side. Gives us a chance to take a breath on the second lap of the race. What a start here in Austria. Holds on to it, just, he knows that was a slight error because he immediately goes to his right to try and break the toe to Trumnitz right behind. Kirill Small does likewise. Josh Dirksen right behind the Russians as Bierman leads them up the hill for the first time after the restart. There's Eric Zaniga going through ahead of Antonelli, Braski, Patrese. Good 1/3 race distance. Gets the toe look further back in the background. Antonelli coming under attack from Francesco Braschi, and just ahead they go side by side up the hill. Kind of time, there's Lorenzo Patrese who goes through as Andrea Kimi Antonelli gets the warning flag. Patrese with a nice run, Antonelli behind, locks the brake. The two Italians go side by side. That's going to be a real hazard now for Nikita Bedrin is Kasper Stuka, Samir Ben Meyerweg and Hunter Alcobasi side by side. Go the two Italians, make that three wide almost, the three Italians. Antonelli up the inside in car 99. In the race, P1 in the race, P1 in the series, it's Ollie Bierman. The gap has come down to 4/10 of a second. Go back to Josh Dufek and Leonardo Fornaroli. We've got a glimpse of the Austrian-Swiss driver Josh ahead of the Italian, having their own private battle out front. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bierman, Trumnitz, Montoya, and Kirill Small. Goes in very deep under brakes. Does Tim Trumnitz. We'll start on pole position for race 3 tomorrow afternoon. Is the young Italian's first ever car race. As we go further back in the pack, Patrese still driving incredibly defensive. Braski and Lorenzo Patrese go side by side as they race up the hill. Konrad Lausen is just behind, and as Wisniewski. Bensverlin has to get on the brake sideways on the exit from Lorenzo Patrese. He's finally had to concede the place to the other Italian, Francesco Braschi, for Genza Motorsport. Patrese fights back. This is the best we've seen the second generation racer Italian try for some time. Some aggression from young Lorenzo. Braschi, though, is simply not interested. He drives the 28 Genza Motorsport car inside the top 10. Conrad, Mexican off the track. It is brutal. And this, the world's most competitive junior motor racing series, is now Small climbs back into contention for a podium. This happened just a few moments ago, and this is the reason why. Started on the outside of the front row. He went through into position 1 on lap 1. The championship leader, Ollie Bierman for Van Amersfoort Racing, wins race 1 of the Italian F4 Championship here at the Red Bull Ring here in Austria. Trumnitz across the line in second, and Sebastian Montoya takes third on the podium here this morning. Fantastic comeback for Kirill.
Yeah, it was a tough race for sure. We knew it would be a difficult one after putting it on P2, but yeah, I just tried to make a difference at the start, and it paid off. So
yeah, happy to take the win, and yeah, it was a really good race.
In the first race, Oliver Behrman, and the winner, Racing. Congratulations, guys.
In Austria, race 2 of the Italian F4 Championship. Fornaroli on pole position, and we race. Nice start by the Italian. He immediately cuts to his right. Has to defend from the far starting Tim Tramnitz, who slots into second place. A great start by Sebastian Montoya. Has not one but about 7 cars, racing cars, go side by side up the hill for the first time. Tramnitz and Fornaroli go wheel to wheel. The German has gone through and taken the lead away from the Italian. 6 as Beeman loses a place to Kirill Small. The ruthless racing Russian up into P5. Beeman being attacked by Josh Turkson, the South American, on the outside of the championship leader. He's gone through and taken him. One car did lose their front wing. We'll try and pick up who that was. I'll have to pull into pit lane. Can you believe it? No, it's not Ollie Beerman, it's Josh Dufek. For a moment, we thought it was the championship leader. Josh Dufek, car 13 without the front wing. We saw it at the side of the circuit. Dives down into pit lane. Van Amersfoort Racing will go to work. Josh Dufek, head of Santiago Ramos, Hamda Alcabasi, Eric Zaniga, Jonas Reed's moved up a place, Samir Band, and Kasper Stuka rounds out the 20. Disaster for the Colombian American. Montoya is out. Josh Dufek has had to pick for a new front wing. So 2 of the expected contenders for race 2 here this morning. To Vallelunga. The race was red flagged. They went back a lap and he was able to rejoin at the restart. In pride, veteran who inherited the race 3 victory at Imola after the disqualification after the fact of Beerman. In layman's term, basically, he was excluded from the victory of race 3 at Imola. Continue to dice. Ollie Beerman, the championship leader, needs to be careful as Jonas Reed off screen comes down into pit lanes on sustained damage. In that incident, as the VAR cars go side by side. Oh, they touch the championship leader. Comes together with his teammate. Can you believe that? Almost a disaster for VAR. In fact, it is one car going right off the road. Was it Nikita or Ollie? I'll tell you in just a moment. Tim Tramnitz drives away. Fornaroli in second. Ollie is so lucky to keep it on the road. Kirill Small saw that, and he knows that Beerman is now a sitting duck. Tramnitz drives away from Fornaroli. Beerman in P3 under attack from Kirill Small. So Tim Tramnitz, who had a 1.3 second lead, will see that evaporate as the safety car comes out. We'll try and pick up the reason why. We have lost Montoya, we've lost Jonas Reed. This is why, unfortunately, for Hamda Alcabasi, she's parked at car 88 in the gravel. She will also join Montoya, Reed and Dufek as retirements. Move down the inside. This is Conrad Larson, in fact, her teammate. Making contact very lightly with Gassiace. And Hamda parks car 88 in the gravel. That's disappointing. She was having a good run inside the top. Kirill Small, who'll get the toe as they race down the start finish straight. Dirksen B5 from Braski, Simonazzi, Watts, Spence Valent. Charlie Dirksen, Spence Valent, the Austrian and the Hungarian. They go side by side down the back straight. Will we see a repeat of what happened to Bedrin and Beerman a few moments ago? Ollie Beerman defends from Kirill Small. And the Russians still trying to find a way by the series leader, Kirill Small, who won the very first race of the two. Look further back in the pack. Oh, wow. Samir Ben airborne over the back of the Iron Lynx car 73. Severe damage to both these cars. A lot of work for Team Iron Lynx and Jensen Motorsport, the Swiss driver, the Swiss under full course yellow here in Austria. And Tramnitz will take a victory, much to the frustration of Leonardo Fornaroli. Samir Ben's car being carried away in the background. So this is now the last lap of the race. Confirmation from race control. We will finish under full course yellow. Yellow, and therefore the clock ticks down, and this is officially the start of the race behind the safety car under full course yellow. We will have pit stops. The race declared officially wet, obviously. Santiago Ramos fights for traction. Look at the condition of the circuit down the back straight. Ollie Beerman was saying for the moment, Tim Tramnitz, who took the race to victory this morning on a dry circuit, he stays out. So the first car to dive down into pit lane is Josh Dufek. And half the field do elect to stay out. Then half dive down into pit lane. We'll try and get a camera down into pit lane. Look at this. So the field is split between the Pirelli slicks and the Pirelli wets. Josh Dufek down into the pits, as is Sebastian. Beerman does not, Bedron does not, so the Van Amersfoort racing team have elected to gamble. Will that cost them in 25 minutes' time? The only saving grace for the drivers who elected to stay out is that the pit lane is now relatively clear. Fornaroli is in pit lane, as is Tramnitz, as is Simonat. The spray, Beerman leads across the line for the first racing lap here this afternoon. They're three wide. Josh Dirksen tries the outside of Nikita Bedron. What a move by Josh. Nicely done. This is probably the most treacherous corner. Do they all make it through? The answer is no. Levente Ravesh, after a great restart, runs off the circuit through the gravel, looks for the escape road, and will rejoin, as does Eric Zaniga in the background. It's Beerman, Bedron in P1. Up the hill from Beerman, it was Josh Dirksen on the outside and takes the championship leader. You won't be thinking about the race win too much. More points in the 2021 championship. Brilliant restart. The track, it is wet. It has, fortunately, for the drivers who did elect to stay out, it has stopped raining. Dirksen on the outside of Ollie Beerman, gets on the brakes early. Beerman shoots to the outside, searching for... Will the Dutch team pull a blinder here? Dufek looking for grip on the outside. Goes down the inside of his teammate, Ollie Beerman. They're three wide, Dirksen on the outside. And that is Francesco Braschi. In fact, it's Nico Baptiste. The Colombian comes to play. The two South Americans now go side by side. Josh Dirksen and Nico Baptiste in car 35 for grand competition. Van Amersfoort Racing, what a tactical, brilliant move for the moment. They are 1, 2, 3. They elected to stay out on slick tyres. Kirill Smiles on the wets. Goes up the inside. He's on the charge. Nikita Bedron in car 15. That is his teammate Josh Dufek right behind in car 13. Nikita on the slick tyre. Van Amersfoort Racing 1, 2, 3. We look for Kirill Smale in position 4. He won the very first race of the 2021 championship. He's on the wet tyres. There's still VAR 1, 2, 3. But Smale is coming for him. Josh goes through to take the top spot. Ollie Beerman, the championship leader, goes very, very wide. Just centimetres away from the gravel. Beerman back in P3, Van Amersfoort Racing. 1, 2, 3. Two of their drivers are still up Pirelli slicks as Montoya goes round. Sebastian turns Cade and goes up into the final podium position. Nicely done. He takes the championship leader, as does Tim Tramnitz. Brilliant racing in the Italian F4 Championship, powered by Yamaha, presented by Wsk Promotion. Tramnitz pulls out of the spray as the safety car makes another entrance onto the circuit. Wow, what a start! And in fact, it was Francesco Braschi and not for the first time this weekend, Sebastian Montoya, who was third in the championship, has retired.
Jetzt allerdings 2 Ausfälle für Sebastian Montoya.
Makes an appearance here in Austria as Benzfelin pulls down into pit lane, loses the front wing and goes around as Ramos. Just Josh Dufek desperately trying to hold on. Tramnitz is over the back of him. Simonazzi around the outside, turns it almost sideways up the hill. Small under enormous pressure from Francesco Simonazzi. They almost touch. Tramnitz will find grip on the outside. Dufek puts it in the middle of the circuit. Finds grip on the wide line is Kirill Small. It doesn't look as though the Russian will stand on the top step of the podium. He does not have the speed to match Josh or Tim for the Tramnitz is approaching now a brilliant drive. He won race 2. He'll do it again this afternoon. Tim Tramnitz, the German, wins here again at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Brilliant drive in extremely trying conditions. Josh Dufek, the Austrian, almost takes the win, comes across the line in position 2, side by side.
Yeah, we had to do a pit stop because of the rain. It was quite stressful, I have to say, but I'm very happy to that I was able to overtake the guys in front of me to get on this victory. And yeah, great job by the team. The pit stop was amazing.
Bierman is on 262 points and has a 78-point lead in the championship. Tramnitz now moves into second place ahead of Fornaroli, who drops to third on 157. Montoya is next on 133, 4 points ahead of his Prema Power teammate Kirill Small. Josh are next. Dufek and Dirksen, with the second Russian Nikita Bedran, P8 in the series on 69 points.
Just 2 rounds remain to wrap up the 2021 championship, and at this point Olli Bierman is still the favourite for the title. Well, from the beautiful countryside of Austria, we go back to the home nation of Italy, the penultimate round of the championship at Mugello. We'll see you then.